We're moving to Florida in droves because this is the free state of Florida. They're moving here because they know their families will be safe here. Their businesses will be safe. They won't have to contend with what we're seeing in places like Los Angeles and New York and Chicago, those things that are happening right now as we stand here today speaking. Our general was, I will say, very instrumental, was the tip of the spear in our blueprint for free Florida. And now he's the tip of the spear in making sure that we are protecting what I like to call our 3 C's, our citizens, our cops, and our Constitution. And he has stood strong with not only law enforcement, but with us here in Brevard County, and we appreciate you. I'm gonna start out by addressing the doxing issue that we were talking about. Our ICE agents, just like our Florida Highway Patrol, are our partners. We all ride together in this. We all are out here to make sure that we're protecting our citizens, protecting our communities. Many of them have been called to the border. Many of them have been called to other locations to deal with the amount of fugitives and things that are going on, detainers. So for us, we will have their back. We will work closely with Colonel Howes and his team in making sure that we're increasing patrol, we're watching them. Anybody that's doxing them, as the General said, we passed a law about 4 or 5 years ago that makes it illegal to dox here in the state of Florida. So anybody's doing that, we will take them to full task on doing it. We will stand with you. I want to define a couple things, and our general was very kind in how he said things. I'm not as usually as elegant in how I say things. So I'm gonna first say that peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure you have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you, all right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what you are seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, all and on. So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order. Not here, not in the state of Florida. So, to make it real simple, if you don't want to have any of those things happen to you, obey the law. Go protest all you want. Do it peacefully. Stand on the mountaintops and yell your opinion, your views. We invite that. But don't you dare break the law, because it won't go well for you. All right, General? Thank you, sir.
Well, you definitely heard what he said. And I would advise everybody to just kind of like, either you avoid it, or if you are going to participate in it, just be cautious about what you do, and just, mindful about what you do.
Or just do it peacefully. Yeah. Right? As the sheriff said, this is a country where you can voice your opinion, but just do it civilly. Right? And we also have to understand that to be in a place where you are able to voice your opinion, that's major. Because in a lot of countries and places outside of the United States, you're not allowed to even have an opinion, let alone,
right.
You know, some places are so strict, right, with their law and order. They don't even want you thinking different than how they think.
Right.
To the point where in other countries, right, whether it be in Middle Eastern countries, some communist countries, so on and so forth. If you have an opinion, you better keep it to yourself.
For sure.
Right? This shit is deep. And it's to the point where if you're in a place where you are able, it's like saying your opinion matters. They allow you to have an opinion, but do it respectfully. You gotta be honest. Right. You gotta be honest. You gotta give kudos to the United States.
Yeah.
Because in other countries, like I just said, you do not have
a voice.
Voice.
You barely have a voice in
it's so much so to the point where if you say something, and let's say you're just talking to a next door neighbor, and that next door neighbor says whatever it is that you said that may be against what the belief system is, they could come, they could arrest you, they could even take you out. So from everything that I've been seeing on TV when it comes down to the riots and everything, people have been really showing their behinds. All right, we're going to keep it clean. They have really been showing up and showing out and doing a lot of disrespectful stuff. First of all, cops, it doesn't matter what division that you're in, whether you're or not, if you're a sheriff, if you're a detective, police officer, ICE agent, they put their lives on the line every single day to protect and serve.
Correct.
And the least thing that you could do for them is show some type of respect. Yes, I get it. I know somebody's going to say, oh, some officers, they're bad, they're evil. I get that. In every situation, there's good and bad.
Right.
But nevertheless, don't go out there and attack people just for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? This sheriff, he's not playing. As far as I'm concerned, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like this guy. And the reason why I like him is because he's straight to the point. He's straight to the point.
But
you can't say you didn't know.
There's always going to be somebody out there that's going to challenge
a person who doesn't like law and order. But you got to understand, every country runs on law and order, whether if you agree with it or you don't agree with it.
Right.
You know, it's a level of respect. Even in your household, you got to demonstrate a level of respect. Or it's what your parents is going to tell you. You know something, and there goes the door. You got to get out. Exactly.
Yeah.
So did he say something out of order? No.
Yeah, he's all about the 3 C's. You know it already. He said it. He made it clear.
Citizens, cops, and Constitution.
All right now.